Okay, let me see. I've got to make sure. Okay, it'll get us. Okay, I'd like to start all of our classes with what I call a gee whiz moment. So I hope you'll bear with me, but I've got a couple of little things I want to show you. I know this doesn't have to do with regular class, but this way I kind of wake you up and I get you to be paying attention maybe. Sorry about the fact that we don't have any water, so we're going to get stuck with Sunny D. But I thought you might like cheese sticks for a change. So, and I have some more, so if you run out, just let me know and I can get you another one. Okay, this is my gee whiz thing. Would anybody like to guess what it is? Any guesses? Would you like me to tell you?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, when I was your age, way back in the dark ages, when the dinosaurs roamed the world, we used to read the comic books about death rays. You know, where they would just shoot a light beam and it would be a death ray. Well, we have them now. And this is my death ray. It's kind of a modern miracle because this thing can harness a whole lot of energy with nothing more than flashlight batteries. You know, the first ones of these things came out, they had to be connected to a high voltage power source, and they had a whole bunch of, you know, it took like 220 volts. Anyhow, it was a big thing. They had to bring in special wiring to get one working. But this one here will run on just 12 volts of batteries. Now I have it aimed at these balloons because the balloons will prove that they are a death ray. Now then, take a look at that wood and see if you can see the smoke. Look at that. Do you see the smoke coming up? It's actually burning a hole. Okay? How many of you would like to have one of these to play with? Anybody? Haha, yeah. They're fun. Anyhow, take a look at what it did in just a couple of seconds. Isn't that neat? You know what? If you have these things in a special instrument that has motors, you can make something like this. It focuses the beam, and I drew a picture on a computer, and then I'm able to put it into this. Doesn't that look neat? Because it looks like an engraved artwork, doesn't it? But it was all done with computers and laser light. Now, if that doesn't impress you, then you're unimpressible. So what I did is I made some little gadgets here. Elizabeth, there you are. Now, let that sit for a second. I'm going to show you what to do with it. Riley, because I haven't been able to learn all your names yet, so I'm going to have Tyler. And I know Tyler from last year. And that's you, huh? And Noah. Now then, Curtis is not here, so I use his as a sample. Then Peter. These were made with a laser. Okay, Rebecca. And Gavin. Okay, whoops. Luckily hopefully they're mirrors and aren't broken. Now, look on the back, you'll find a magnet. Now, put the magnet inside your clothes. I'll put this here. And then put this up like so. And now you have a name badge. Let's see if you can make it stick. Yeah, put the magnet behind your clothes or inside your clothes. You could actually just put it on your collar if you want, but just put it there and put your thing up against it. And now I can tell who you are. And you get to take these home with you. Because these were all made with a laser. I have a machine that has a laser, a little bit more powerful than that. I understand that Peter's dad has one of those machines too. And at any rate, you can make things like this with it. If anybody ever when we get over this COVID thing, if any of you want to come over to our house as a group, because I don't have kids together when there's just one. I like to have a group. But then you can come over and make things like this with them. Or, you know, when you graduate for confirmation, I use the laser to make special plaques for you to put in your room. And anyhow, those are my moments of, you know, curiosity things that I like to start the class with. Now we've got to get to work. Work. Okay, tonight, can anybody tell me what we're studying tonight? One of the commandments. Seven. Can anybody tell me what that one is? Remember last time I was here, I gave you a chart that showed you the different numberings of the ones. You know, if you're a Baptist, the seventh one is thou shalt not commit adultery. But if you're a Catholic or a Lutheran, the seventh commandment is thou shalt not steal. Or that's the way I learned it, way back in the Dark Ages when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. Anyhow, now we say, you shall not steal. But we need to know the definition of stealing. And it's not like you've always been taught. See, you've been taught that stealing is just when you take something that belongs to somebody else. Isn't that pretty much the definition of stealing? Okay. Some people say, oh, I'm just borrowing it. But if you take it without getting permission, then you're stealing. But it's a lot more than just that. And it's those things that we're going to study today. So could you take your big books out like this? Now, I need you to turn to page 57. And do I need to pass out things to write with? I'm going to keep my distance and breathe in a different direction. And I want you to take a pencil if you need one. You have one? You have one? I spent most of my life teaching school, so I always have writing implements. And now that I'm old, I have a flashlight so I can see things. See what happens when you get old? Things start to fail. Sometimes the thing that fails is my memory. So I have to look at the book a lot to keep remembering. Okay? Now, I need somebody right under consider this. Caitlin, would you read that paragraph right under the little bar that says consider this?
Think about all the different things people need on earth for their well-being. In the space around the human figure below, sketch or write as many different earthly things that humans need to have a peaceful life. Next, each draw an arrow pointing to the human figure.
Okay, I would like you to do that now. I want you to write things that most of us need to have the life that we have. I'll give you a couple of hints. Food. And for me, Dr. Pepper. Diet Dr. Pepper.
Ooh.
You don't like diet, do you?
Not diet.
I don't like sugared diet. I don't like sugared Dr. Pepper anymore. But it's bad for you. Everything you like is bad for you, I think. Okay, I'd like you to have at least 5 or 6 things listed. And draw the arrow back to the person. While you're doing that, I'm going to take the attendance. Rebecca is here, and Peter is here, Elizabeth is here, Caitlin is here, Curtis is not here, Gavin is here, and Tyler is here, and Noah is here, and Riley is here. Now I press done, and we're done. I love computers. I hate computers. I love them when they do what I want them to do, and I hate them when I have to fix them. How are we doing? Does anybody need more time? Nobody needs more time? Very good. Oh, this one's the tape with it. Did anybody like seeing the balloons blow up? From just the death ray. You ought to see it when we take it outside. If we get done in time, maybe I'll take it outside and show you the light beam going up. You know, you have to be careful not to hit an airplane with it because it'll light up the whole airplane. Okay, so I need somebody to share one of the things that we need. As a matter of fact, I'd like to go around the room and have everybody share one thing that they put down. And I'll bet you that we probably won't have to have a repeat. So look on your list, and if we have a repeat, that's okay. But let's see what we have. So let's start over here. Gavin?
I said
The Bible, oh, I didn't think of that one, but you're absolutely right. Peter?
your house.
Your house. Shelter. Very good.
Your family.
What?
Family.
Your family? Okay.
Clothes.
Huh?
Clothes.
Clothes. Yeah, I wouldn't want to run around naked.
Good health.
Good health. Okay.
No war.
No war. I hadn't thought of that. But we don't always get that, but yeah, that's good.
Privacy.
What?
Privacy.
Privacy. That's interesting. Excuse me just a quick second. That's somebody at the back door.
This is weird. I don't have a straw for this.
Oh, God.
Yeah. ahead. That look. One for all.
Sorry for the interruption. We had a delayed arrival. Okay, where did I stop?
Privacy?
Privacy, that's right. And what did you have? Huh? The sun. Okay. I don't think we can steal the sun. I think we can steal clothes. Okay, on the list that you have, what did you have that you might be afraid of somebody stealing? How come nobody listed money?
I didn't.
You did? Okay. Okay, are you ever afraid that somebody might steal your money? That's something that gets stolen quite a bit. You see, not everybody in our world lives by the Ten Commandments. So, in the next space, see that little box down there? I want you to write 2 or 3 things that you can do to help secure or protect somebody's property, like your property or your neighbor's property. So write, I'd like to have at least 3. Anybody need more time? Okay, I need you to get your catechisms open. And I need you to go to page 105 in your catechism. There's a question on page 105. Okay. Now, if I mess up when I'm trying to read something, please give me a little bit of leeway, because this mask is making my lenses fog up, and it's getting hard to see things now as it is, because I'm so old. Okay. Read question 78. What does it say? Why are earthly goods such as money and possessions important? Well, they say you can't buy happiness with money, but it helps. Is that about right?
Can be.
Yeah. But you can do good works with money too. Okay. Look down at the answer. The answer is right below the question. The question, of course, is in kind of reddish color, and then the black letters tells you why all those things are important. Okay. Caitlin, tell us why they're important.
These gifts are given to us by God for our needs and enjoyment of life.
Yes. That's also the first article of the creed. And you'll learn that a little bit later. Okay, now, Elizabeth, can you fairly loudly read what's inside that square on the top of the sheet? Everybody read it. Elizabeth's going to read it out loud for us.
We should fear and love God so that we do not take our neighbor's money or possessions or get them in any dishonest way, but help him improve and protect his possessions and income.
So, excuse me. So, instead of taking money from somebody or possessions from somebody, we should help them use them because they are a gift of God. And we want to help them. You know, that's being, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in a minute, but that's all also being part of being a good steward. You all know what a steward is, don't you? You don't know, do you? A steward is a person who takes care of things. Wait a minute. They take care of things? Yeah. If they are a steward on the ship, they take care of the passengers. You know what? I'm a steward because I'm on the properties committee here at church. So I take care of the church. My job is that I take care of computers and telephones and things like that. You know, when we take care of things and help us do the work of God or work for God, then we're good stewards. Okay? Part of the seventh commandment, thou shalt not steal, right there, what you just read, was telling us to be good stewards. In other words, good people taking care of things. Okay? Not good people, but people who take good care of things. Okay? So, let us continue. Okay? So, in the bottom of that first square, under digging deeper. See, I'm digging deeper. Okay, I want you to put in your own words, since I don't describe what it is, why money and possessions are still important in the space below. We already talked about that, and you know what it is, so take care of that, would you? Write it down in the square below. Does anybody need more time? Anytime I say, do you need more time, if you need a little bit more time, just hold up your finger for a second and I'll see that and know that it's time to go. Okay. I want you to be able to finish and I don't want to go on ahead without you. Okay, now, everybody's done? Okay. Now I need you to go down, there's some more squares. And it's titled Not Taking and Looking After. You see, the seventh commandment is about two things. You don't take something that doesn't belong to you. Let me move this out of your way, Curtis. And I'm wearing the Curtis badge, so now you can have that. You take and put the magnet behind your shirt, and then put this up against it, and it'll hold it on there. We made that with a laser, and I talked about the laser before you were here. So you put that on, and now you have a name tag. And you take that home with you. Okay, right now we're on page number 58. And that way you can get there and catch up with us. Okay. Now, on the left-hand side under not taking, I want you to write some things that you can follow the seventh commandment by not taking it. And then on the other side, I want you to write things that you can do to take care of things. On page 58, we're on the second thing down now, this part right here. There you go. And this is all about not taking something of your neighbor. And you remember when we talked about who a neighbor was. The neighbor is just about anybody that you might have contact with, right? Okay, so talk about what you cannot take from your neighbor, and then talk about something that you can take care of for your neighbor. You can help your neighbor by taking care of their lawn. You know, one of the things that while you're writing, and I'm going to ramble on here a little bit that you can hear about, you know, we have to also take responsibility to protect things that belong to us. You know, do you all know what a porch pirate is?
They take Amazon packages.
Yeah. Amazon delivers a package and they come up behind the Amazon driver and steal the package. Well, to protect the packages that we get from Amazon, I installed a box on my front porch that is bolted to the concrete. And when they deliver something, they put it in, and usually the driver closes the lid, which is what he's supposed to do, because there's a sign that says, after delivery, please close the lid. And about 8 times out of 10, they actually close the lid. Okay, when they close the lid, it can't be opened again until I punch in the combination.
That's smart.
Okay, and that's how we protect our own things. So, what do we put on our doors to help protect what's in our house?
Box.
Locks.
A mailbox.
Cameras.
Yeah.
We use cameras. Giving you any ideas on how to do that, how to take care of things?
You steamboat them.
Yeah.
Of course, with cameras, that doesn't keep them from stealing it. You just get a picture of whoever stole it.
Yeah, but then
Because unfortunately,
You just
not
put a
everybody
tracker
in the
on the
world.
box.
What?
Like put like a tracker in the box.
Yeah.
Put like a stuff, so if someone takes it, just track them.
Yes. Except those things cost a lot more than whatever it is they're stealing. Like you can put your cell phone in there, and then track a cell phone. But I ain't putting my Apple phone in the box. Because I don't order anything that's worth even half of what that iPhone is worth. Okay. Can I help you out, Elizabeth, a little bit? Okay. How about protecting your neighbor's flowers and things that are on pots, potted plants? That's something that gets stolen quite a bit. Or how about protecting food deliveries? Or protecting you don't want to take their potted plants, you don't want to take their food deliveries, you don't want to take tools that are laying out in the yard. Now, suppose your neighbor left tools out in the yard, how could you help protect them?
You knock on the door to see if they're home, and then if they're not home, you can hide it, and then once they are home, you can go.
Put them in the backyard and then come back and tell them where you put them later, huh? Yeah, so these are what we call strategies. So you like playing with the magnet, don't you, Peter? Peter, you don't talk very much, do you? Sometimes that's a good thing. Okay. Is everybody done with both sides?
Yeah. Yes.
Does anybody need any help? Okay, then let's go ahead and move along. Okay. I have to use this because I'm having trouble reading. You know what? You need to see this. Your book has fairly good sized writing. Look at how small the print is in my book. Look at how small that is. Can you read that?
No.
Now you know why I'm stumbling around a little bit. Okay. What about when somebody says, go ahead and take it, it's free? You know, if you're in Costco and they want you to pick up one of these little things, you know how they hand out free food and samples, we call them samples. That's okay to take. But what about these computer sites where you can download music without paying for it? Is that okay?
No.
No.
If you're like hacked.
How about
Put in viruses.
How about copying a game from a friend's disk and then hacking the code so you can play the game without paying for it? Okay? Anytime you make use of, okay, if somebody, how about, let me make this a little more clear. Okay, you're having trouble with an essay at school, if you ever get to go back to school again. Anyhow, you're having trouble with an essay at school. And then you look at somebody else's paper and you copy a paragraph out of their paper. Okay? We call that cheating, don't we? But you know what? In God's world, that's not following the seventh commandment, because you're in effect stealing their intellectual property. Okay? When you cheat and copy somebody else's answers, that's the kind of thing they're talking about stealing in the seventh commandment. Sometimes we don't think about that. Okay, we kind of overlook it. But you know, Sometimes you're going to get desperate. I'll be honest with you. There are times when you're going to get desperate and you're going to copy a little bit. You know, you're a sinful being. You're going to break commandments. There's no way you can go through life without breaking the commandments. Okay? That makes you what?
Sinner.
A sinner. Yes. And why, if you repent of your sin, why are you not going to go to hell?
Because Jesus saved us.
Exactly. Because Jesus died on the cross to save us. You know, that's what this plaque is all about. You know, everybody goes about Christmas and everybody gets tied up in the presents and buying things and all of that. And sometimes we lose sight of the reason why we have Christ. I mean, why we have Christmas. And that's the reason why I made this plaque, because this is a nativity scene. This is where Joseph and Mary and baby Jesus, and of course the angels and the wise men are around. And because I wanted to depict something that tells us why we have Christmas. And then we put John 3:16 there, for God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. When we break the seventh commandment, we repent of the sin of breaking that commandment. And then because we believe in Christ as our Savior, because he was born, not necessarily on December 25th, but that's when we observe his birth, then because of him being born and being sacrificed on the cross, that's why you can be forgiven for breaking a commandment. Okay, on page 107, there is question number 80. And Peter, because you're so quiet, I want you to read that question to us. Just go ahead as soon as you get it. Did you remember the page number I said to go to?
Which one is question 80?
107.
Question 80, yes.
And it is question 80.
What else is considered to be our neighbor's possessions or property today?
Okay?
Our neighbor's property may include intellectual property such as ideas and writings, which can be stolen by copyright violation, patent infringement, or plagiarism. And also music, movies, and personal information, which might be stolen by online piracy, computer hacking, or identity theft.
So that's where we talk about, stealing somebody's program on the computer. Okay, there's an activity you're supposed to do after that. Okay, and there are 3 things labeled under, I'm getting ahead of myself. Go to question 81. It's the next question. And there are 3 things, A, B, C. Okay? Beside A, write down what you find in the answer to question 81. On the first letter where it says A, write down what it says as an answer. The question is, how does God provide us and others with our earthly goods? Okay, he provides it through A, the bounty of the earth. be A. And what do we mean by bounty of the earth? The air we breathe, the water we drink, the sunshine that gives us energy. Those are the things under A. And write that down beside the first arrow. Then on B, now, I'm going to explain this a little bit because a lot of you don't know what a vocation is. A vocation is the skills you can sell to earn a living. It's not necessarily a job, because that's our next thing, but our vocations. In other words, if you're an electrician, that's not your job, that's your vocation. You can fix electrical wiring. That's your skill. So that would be, and you're all good at something. What are you good at? How about baking cookies?
Sure, yeah.
You're good at baking cookies. Okay, that could be a vocation. The skill of being able to bake cookies. Okay? What are you good at?
Sports.
Sports. Maybe you'll grow up and be able to play professional sports and make money that would provide for you. Okay, your job would be a professional athlete, but your skill is to be able to play a game very well. Okay? Okay, so B, next to B, put down vocations. I don't know if I'm supposed to help you quite this much, but I want to get through this in the amount of time we have left, because we only have 15 minutes left. And I'm having to concentrate because this face mask keeps fogging up my glasses. And you can't see it, but that's the reason why I had to go in the room for a minute, because it also makes my nose drip. That's because I have very good masks, that do that. But they don't allow any of my germs to get out to you, and they don't allow your germs to get into me. Where these other face masks, they reduce them, but they don't stop them. Okay. Then finally, under C, you can see C at the bottom of page 107, your jobs and careers. So beside the C arrow, write jobs. So vocation is the skills that you have to do good for everybody. And they're basically a property. Now somebody could steal your job, but they probably can't steal your vocation. Some people, not very nice people, their vocation is their ability to steal things. Or sell drugs. Is selling drugs a form of stealing? You're giving something, you're providing somebody with something. But you know what? You can be robbing them of the most precious gift of God that that person has. You can be robbing them of their lives. Things to think about. Okay. I want you to think now of all the things that are in your life, not just possessions, But all of the things that are in your life that are basically and fundamentally gifts from God, gifts God has given you. Can you think of those? Okay. People could steal a lot of those things. Okay. Can anybody tell me something that they would look at as a gift from God? Whether somebody can steal it or not? What?
My siblings.
Pardon?
My siblings.
Your siblings, yes. Well, in your case, you've got one that it might be God getting even with you. Not really, because he's really a neat kid. I really love that kid, but I imagine he's pretty rough on you sometimes. Does he like to joke around with you?
All the time.
All the time. So sometimes you don't know if he's necessarily a gift from God or or a punishment, huh?
Yes.
Okay, what do you say?
Probably my friends.
All of your friends?
Yeah.
Yes. You can think of them as gifts of God. Peter, do you have something that you can think of?
Your family.
Yes. Your family is a gift. Can you tell me something?
Your neighbor.
Your neighbors? Yes. Curtis, what can you come up with?
On the house to live in.
Yes. Elizabeth, how about you? Do you have something that you can think of? No? Okay.
I'd say friends too.
Friends too? Okay.
Our lives.
Your lives. Hey, that one could be the most precious to you, huh? You're alive.
Country I live in.
Huh?
Country I live in.
Yes. Although sometimes we kind of wonder about that with all the unrest and division. That's one of the things that I really don't like about our country right now is all the division. We're supposed to be working together, not opposing each other all the time. So, but that's beyond most of our control. Okay, now that we've done that, let's go over to page 60. And this one is the challenge. Okay? You've got where they have 4 quadrants. You know what a quadrant is? Okay, a quadrant is 1/4 of a whole. And you have 4/4 there, 4 quadrants. Okay? You have one that is family, one that is others, one that is church, and one that is creation. Okay? What I want you to do, I want you to think, I need somebody to read what it says right under the connections. And the reason why I need that is because it's such a small print in my book that I can't read it. So Caitlin, I know you're a good reader, so would you read that for us?
God has given us the job of being stewards of His creation. A steward is someone who manages or looks after someone else's things. Everything we have is God's, and we're given the task of taking care of it. Even more so, we've been bought by Christ to be God's children. As God's human creatures, and His redeemed children, we can joyfully act as stewards of His creation as we await Jesus' return. Use question 82 as a reference. Write down or sketch out in each of the 4 quadrants below at least 2 different ways you can use what God has given you now or in the future to take care of the needs of others.
Okay, it's how shall we use our earthly goods? Like I told you that I'm a steward because I help maintain the church. Okay, we have something under a church. Okay, the lower left-hand quadrant. Okay, what I would like you to do is write at least 2 or 3 things that you could do to help be a good steward for your church. And you know, a lot of you do that. I'm going to give you a hint on one of them. One good way you can be a good steward is, why does the church exist? The church, and I'm talking about the building now, it exists to give us a place to come together to worship. Okay? You can be a good steward by attending worship here, because you're helping to serve the purpose of the building. If they asked you to help us clean up the flower beds, that could be a good way you could be a good steward. Have any of you ever put anything in the offering plate? We have what we call a stewardship committee. And that's where that committee works to encourage us to give to help maintain the church. I have a thing with my credit union where they automatically write a check to the church every month for a set amount. And so that's how I am also contributing to the stewardship of the church. So making offerings to your church is a good way of being a good steward. What about the family? What can you put in that square? How about helping them? Or helping mom vacuum the floors. You're being a good steward of the family by being somebody that is loving and attentive. Those are the ways that you can be a good steward. Okay? Now, the upper right-hand quadrant is others. Think of 2 or 3 things that's not listed already where you could be a good steward. How about praying? Praying for others. Okay, here's the tough one. Creation. This one's a hard one, so you can just think of 2 things. Maybe you can write in creation how you can be a good steward with creation. Okay, not damaging the environment because God created the environment. Did anybody think of that? Because Caitlin always thinks of things. You know what? There's one thing that I don't like about this class.
What's that?
I don't have anybody in here that I can pick on.
Yeah.
When your brother was in class, I had a lot of people I could pick on, especially him, because he picked on me too. but I can't pick on anybody in here. Because you're all so quiet and courteous, and I've never had such a courteous class. I'm not complaining.
Bob needs some fun in this class.
Okay, now then, it's almost time to go. Now, I'm going to point at each one of you one at a time, and in just one quick thing, I want you to think of something where you can tell me that shows me that you understand what the seventh commandment is all about. Okay? And that's going to be your ticket to get out of here. Okay, so when I point to you, think of it and think of something that will tell me how you understand the seventh commandment. Even something like that. I won't take anything that belongs to somebody else. Okay? Or I'll take care of something that belongs to... Anyhow, you get the idea. Okay, Elizabeth, can I start with you? Or would you like me to wait? Okay. How about you?
Take care of your own belongings.
Very good.
Take care of your neighbor's lawn.
Very good.
Like the seventh commandment, it could mean, like I always thought it was like steal, like literally, like steal your books, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But it can also mean figuratively, like you said with the drugs.
Um,
Steal their well-being.
Yeah, oh, good idea.
Protect your neighbor's belongings.
Very good.
Like don't take back.
That's right, don't take something off your neighbor's porch. Okay?
Don't pirate movies.
Don't what?
Don't pirate movies.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that
Don't
last
pirate
one.
movies.
Oh, don't pirate movies. Good idea. Sorry, I just, sometimes these masks. Are you able to understand me okay with the mask on?
Yeah.
But I talk a little louder than most. Okay, what's yours?
Provide.
Provide. Very good. Okay, don't point in your neighbor's yard. Okay, put your books away or take them with you, and we'll see you time after next. Pastor will be here next time, and then after that, I will be back. Oh, that's it. Thank you. Take your food with you, unless you don't want it. Oh, you don't like cheese sticks? I thought everybody liked cheese sticks.
I like cheese sticks, but once they're in my car, they don't fall as well.
Huh?
Once they're in my car, they fall as well.
Oh,
But thank you for the cheese sticks.
oh, you're welcome.
Bye, Bob.
Do you want help with anything?
What?
Do you want help?
Oh, I think I've got it, but thank you very much for offering.